I found the quote that opens up chapter 5 very interesting. It's by John Goodlid, or I think that's how you pronounce it. But it says, "We do not see in our descriptions of classroom activity much opportunity for students to become engaged with knowledge so as to employ their full range of intellectual abilities, and one wonders about the meaningfulness of whatever is acquired by students who sit listening or performing relatively repetitive exercises year after year. Part of the brain is stimulated by novelty. It appears to me that students spending 12 years in the schools we have studied would be unlikely to experience much novelty. Does part of the brain just sleep then?" I found that very interesting because if they're wondering if part of the brain just sleeps, then are kids really learning everything that they should be? And maybe we should go and rethink how we teach. And then it goes to talk about multiple intelligence theory and how it makes its greatest contribution to education by suggesting that teachers need to expand their techniques, tools, and strategies beyond the normal linguistic and logical ones. And then I found the contrast between traditional and multiple intelligence teachers very interesting. And in a traditional setting, the teachers stand in front of the classroom and lecture, whereas in a multiple intelligence teacher setting, they would shift their method of presentation from linguistic to spatial to musical and so on. So each kid gets taught on their intelligence level, or not really level, but the way they learn. And then in chapter 6, Abraham Maslow starts the chapter off by quoting, "If the only tool you have is a hammer, everything around you looks like a nail." And then it goes and talking about some teaching strategies for the intelligences. And then for linguistics, it is storytelling, brainstorming, tape recording, journal writing, and publishing. For logical mathematics is calculations and quantifications, questioning and science thinking. Some of spatial is visualizing, color cues, picture metaphors. Some of bodily kinesthetic is body answers, classroom theater, and hands-on thinking. Musical is rhythm, songs, raps, and chants. Musical concepts, mood music. Intrapersonal is peer sharing, people sculptures, cooperative groups. Intrapersonal is personal connections. Choice time, goal setting. Naturalist is nature walks, plants as props, and eco studies. And then in chapter 7, it says that for most Americans, just the word classroom conjures up an image of kids sitting in neat rows, having to face forward, be quiet, not getting to express anything, but having to sit in their desk and either work while a teacher is sitting at her desk grading papers, or sitting there quietly watching a teacher lecture. And then it goes into talking about some open-ended activities. These were very interesting to me because they seemed fun. And for linguistic, you could play Scrabble. For logical mathematics, Monopoly. Spatial, Pictionary. Bodily kinesthetic, Twister. Musical, it'd be Encore. Interpersonal, Family Feud. Intrapersonal, The Ungame. And Naturalist, Frank's Zoo. And in chapter 8, I found the methods of how they are saying that you could gain the student's attention very interesting. For linguistic, it would be to write the word "silence please" on the blackboard. For musical, it would be clap a short rhythmic phrase and have students clap it back. Bodily kinesthetic, put your finger against your lips to suggest silence while holding your arms up, and have the students mirror your gestures. For spatial, put a blown-up photo of an attentive classroom on the board, perhaps a photo of the actual students involved. Logical mathematical, use a stopwatch to keep track of the time being wasted and write on the blackboard the number of seconds lost at 30-second intervals. Interpersonal, whisper in the ear of the student, "It's time to start, pass it on," and then wait while students pass the message around the room. Intrapersonal, start teaching the lesson and allow students to take charge of their own behavior, which might only work for older kids. And then naturalist, play a recording of a shrill bird whistle, or even better, bring a live animal into the classroom. Generally speaking, whenever there is an animal visitor in a classroom, that's where the attention will be. And that's my summary for chapter 5 through 8.